You know, you should really be glad about this, because me working for you, you'd end up as my bitch.
Today we're going to look at the Bulwark vassal to discover why freedom is overrated and you should become a vassal. We're going to look at why being a Bulwark is better from not only an economic perspective, but also a military perspective as well. On top of that, we'll look at how we can build defense platforms absolutely free and therefore build up a starbase to 300,000 naval power, which is an absolutely insane level, and able to easily take on 900 naval capacity of enemy battleships in our testing. That should mean with just a single starbase, all of your systems are completely untouchable. If we add orbital rings into that as well, I don't even want to think about how massively overpowered being a Bulwark can be. It should be very easy to get a system up to 1 million fleet power, and also it should cost you only a few thousand alloys. But how is this possible? How can we achieve this level of economic and military mastery over the universe? Well, let's dive in and find out. The first step, of course, is to become another empire's vassal to bend the knee. There are two surefire ways to do this. The first is provoke another empire into attacking you with the vassalized war goal and surrender, losing that war. However, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this way because you won't really get a chance to choose the initial vassal contract. The other way will be through diplomacy. Find an empire that has good relations with you, preferably friendly, and ask to be their subject. He will get the request to become a subject screen, and this is slightly better than losing a vassal war because we'll get to choose the terms of our arrangement. Now in this case I'm speaking to a megacore, so I can only become a subsidiary and not a regular vassal type. Don't become a subsidiary if you can help it, because that will mean you'll be forced to pay out resources rather than getting resources and subsidies, which is what we're really going for here. If at all possible, become a Bulwark straight away, right out of the gate. That is the best option. Otherwise, become a vassal, and then I'll go through how we can sort that out. In this case, because this AI empire is a peaceful trader, they really don't want us to become a Bulwark, but we'll have a way around that very soon. For now, all I need to do is raise their relationship with me to friendly. This -1,000 from cordial will go away, and they'll agree to this vassaldom straight away. Now that they are friendly, I can ask to become their subject, and they should say yes straight away. Now at this point, if you aren't already a Bulwark, which is of course what we're trying to become, don't worry. After 5 years have passed, we will get the chance to change the terms of the agreement.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
I'm not going to go into the specifics of how you want to change all of these terms. That I leave up to you. You will notice, however, that we have a negative acceptance rate, which might seem like it's a problem. However, we will find that this isn't an issue. Simply propose this negotiation of terms and spend the influence, and even if they have enough influence to reject it, that's not a problem. As long as you've saved up to have more influence than your overlord, you can simply try to negotiate the terms again. And because you'll have saved up more influence than your overlord, you will be forcing them, because they will have to spend equivalent influence to whatever influence it costs you to reject the deal. Then you'll be able to force their hand in the negotiations. On top of that, it is going to take you some time to convert from your current vassal type into a specialist Bulwark vassal. As this happens, your overlord will get -3 influence per month, so you should win the influence arms race with them. And if you're enjoying this video, please protect that like button. Now that your specialization is complete, you'll finally have access to the regular Bulwark perks. Well, what does this mean for us? We're going to get some bonuses to defense platforms and star bases, but we also get some penalties. -20% to monthly energy, mineral and food outputs. On the surface, this would seem like a problem. However, we also get a 30% subsidy. Whilst on the surface this total imbalance would seem to be a problem, it actually would result, when ignoring all other bonuses or penalties, in a 4% total net benefit to us. So if you become a Bulwark, it is a net benefit at this first level for your basic resource production. On top of that, however, all of these bonuses are actually additive. So any of the bonuses you'll be getting here from your technology to give you additional energy credits to your technicians, or edicts to increase their output, will be factored in additively with this bonus, meaning that overall your net income is a lot higher than 4% once you become a vassal, because you're going to get so many resources from these subsidies. As you gain specialist experience, you'll get 10 every month and go up the levels to to tier 2 and finally tier 3, you'll notice that the penalty does increase all the way up to 50%. However, your contract will adapt to match this change. You'll end up earning 60% of your basic income from your overlord as a flat fee. This might even cause them to go bankrupt. Now, on the surface, at this point, it would seem like you are actually making less money than you would normally would be, but don't worry. As I said earlier, this subject modifier is additive, so all of the bonuses you'll be getting from technology should completely offset this and then some, meaning that this subsidy is going to be a phenomenally large amount. Assuming you don't then go and abuse the AI in terms negotiations, which if you're playing single player, I'd probably recommend you do, because you might as well spend the influence on something, and getting 45% of your overlord's research as well as advanced resources and strategic resources is a very good deal for you. But assuming that level of AI abuse is fixed, what else have we got going for us as a Bulwark? Well, not only are we going to be gaining more basic resources, we'll also be getting lots of other benefits. We'll be getting plus 100% shield hit points in all of our friendly owned systems, as well as minus 0.5% hull regen if we unlock the Unyielding Tradition tree. This actually appears as 2 different modules on all of our star bases, even the unupgraded ones, so any offensive war against you will be quite difficult for an enemy. We also unlock the guaranteed researchable technology of starholds, planetary shields, modular engineering, and star fortresses, as well as citadels, which is fantastic if you can get a Bulwark going early enough and thus unlock these before you'd even be able to naturally roll them in the game. We also get access to special admiral traits as a Bulwark. Now, if we combine them with something like Psychic, or even go one step further and make sure we had a clone army origin start, this is going to leave us with some phenomenally powerful ships with absolutely insane bonuses. But we haven't even gotten to the best and most overpowered part of being a Bulwark yet. Not only is your economy stronger, not only do you have better admirals to lead your fleets, but it is possible with a Bulwark to get absolutely free defense platforms, which are phenomenally overpowered. If you'd like to get your hands on Stellaris or any of the DLC, whilst also supporting this channel and benefiting from some great discounts, the time is now. Until Friday the 5th of August, Stellaris is on sale for 75% off and up to 50% on other Stellaris DLC from the Humble Bundle store. And you can support this channel by following the Humble affiliate link down in the description below. We get a massive +8 to our defense platform capacity here if we combine that with the completed Unyielding trait and Eternal Vigilance. And on top of that, make sure to finish a strategic coordination center for an additional +12 defense platform capacity. You can build monsters like this. This is a single starbase before repeatables with 300,000 military power. Yes, 300,000. We are getting that from a total of 81 different defense platforms. Each of these defense platforms are of course armed with neutron launchers, and I have put down modules to increase the defense platform cap further. I'm putting modules to increase the fire rate and reduce the enemy shield output. Now, all of those bonuses together will do some crazy things. We're getting massive increases of 300% to our defense platform damage and 266% to defense platform hull points. On top of that, the base hull points of our defense platforms is at +1,000. Here my defense platforms are at almost 6,000 hull points, which is the largest amount bar something like a Titan or a Juggernaut in game, and I have 81 of the darn things on a single starbase. But that isn't the craziest part. The craziest part is that every single one of these defense platforms is absolutely free to build. Yes, it will not cost me a single alloy, rare resource, nothing except the 60 days it takes to output the platform itself. Meaning that, yes, I will be paying upkeep. Don't forget that is only a small amount here at only 25% of what I should be paying, so that is something. But I won't need any alloys, I'll just need some foresight and planning to build up a starbase to the maximum defenses here. How is it that I'm actually able to build them for free? Good question. Well, when I combine this -75% to defense platform build cost, along with the Fortifier trait for an additional -33% defense platform build cost, that totals over 100%. So the defense platforms are absolutely free. It's important to remember this also doesn't take any of my naval capacity. On the other hand, the secure the borders doesn't actually work here. It won't actually reduce the overall cost of your defense platforms. It will increase their damage and hull points, so once you've got all of your platforms built, it could be a good idea to swap out your fortifier for a leader with the secure the borders agenda, because that will increase the power of your defense platforms. But overall, the fortifier trait is beyond fantastic if you want to get these free platforms. But how good is this starbase? How well does it actually stand up to enemy fleets? Well, here comes an equivalent 300,000 fleet power worth of battleships, and what you will see is, interestingly, the battleships are stunningly defeated. Yes, I have suffered quite large losses to my defense platforms here, but that is not a problem because I'll be able to keep building them for free. Now, a single starbase like this can repel about 900 naval capacity worth of battleships. When you're facing about 1,000 naval capacity of enemy battleships, you will start losing the engagements. However, you will take down about half of the enemy fleet, meaning 2 starbases kitted up like this can successfully repel an invader with only 1,000 naval capacity of battleships. When facing fleets much larger than, say, 1,000 naval capacity, it's definitely worth bringing in some of your own ships to help with the fight. They will of course be doing very well because you'll be getting all these extra bonuses for being in friendly systems. And this combined forces approach should swiftly deal with something like 1,600 naval capacity when you're only needing 200 or 300 extra ships. Thankfully as well, the enemy will generally tend to shoot your starbase and destroy the defense platforms there if you can time it right before your battleships. And because your defense platforms are absolutely free, this makes the idea of a military engagement laughable from an economic perspective. So not only does a Bulwark have all of the military advantages, but because of the vassal contract system and all of the subsidies you get from your Overlord, it has all of the economic advantages as well. And this is why overall, playing as a Bulwark of another empire is the most powerful way to play Stellaris. Even in a multiplayer situation, being a Bulwark like this would be nigh unstoppable. We've looked at how we can build absolutely crazy free defense platforms in this video, but if you'd like to know how you should design those defense platforms and how they best stand up to the enemy advances, click the video on screen now.